Hey, welcome to the Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Luke.
I'm Griffin.
And today we are back talking about the 2007 thriller Western movie, No Country for Old Men. This is a movie that's also been on my watch list for a while, and finally got around to watching it. Griffin chose the movie for us this week. So you want to talk a little bit about why that is?
So I've heard about this movie for like a long time, and it's just been on my watch list for like forever. So I figured, why not choose it for this week?
Awesome. So the movie stars Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh. I cannot pronounce his last name. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he plays Anton. Tommy Lee Jones plays Ed Tom Bell. Josh Brolin plays Lewin Moss. I hope I pronounced his. They have a lot of like weird spelled names that are hard to pronounce. And Woody Harrelson plays Carson Wells. And there are more than just them, but those are our main players. And the film mostly revolves around Moss, which is Brolin's character, stumbling upon a stack of money in a briefcase, and then they kind of
like a failed drug deal kind of thing.
Yeah, and they play this MacGuffin game basically around it, with Bell being the local sheriff trying to help out Moss get away from Anton, who's the main antagonist of the movie. And Carson's just kind of there, I guess, but he plays a role in here anyway. But yeah, general thoughts. What we think?
So general thoughts, like I think the characters are really well done. Just like Anton, I think he was really a great antagonist. Just dude had like no remorse for anything whatsoever. He would just like kill someone just because he wanted to, kind of, and like he got like no punishment for it either.
Yeah, I almost feel in the same boat again as I did last week. And I'm genuinely never beating the I've liked a movie before allegations. But I feel like this one was also overhyped. I can't help but feel that way.
I kind of feel the same way, but like at the same time, it's still an amazing movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Like I can point out the things that I think this movie does extraordinarily well.
Yeah.
But I've said it time before, and I'll say it again. Story's the most important thing in a movie. If you fail with that, you're going to lose points with me. And I think that's where my main gripe comes for. But before I get into that, I want to carry off what you were saying about the acting.
Yes.
Bardem, as the villain and antagonist of this movie, is impeccable. It is so good. Give a clap too, why not? And it always ties back to the eyes. I don't understand why, but every time an actor does something that like really floors me, it's always their eyes that I like notice.
Eyes.
And it's this soft, depressed look in his eye, in addition to the shimmer of it, that just makes it really unsettling. And I wrote a note in here about this because, where is it? Oh, there it is. Basically, Bardem was depressed while filming this movie. I don't remember the exact reasons for it, but I know he had some form of depression that was happening. And it makes me wonder if like that's why his eyes look so soft as they do, or like as soft as they do. But yeah, excellent performance from him.
I think from like just like IRL reasons and like
crazy
IRL in the big 2-5. I think for like real life reasons and like just kind of like his character too kind of plays into like, you know, you almost kind of feel like not like remorseful, but like, because obviously he's like kind of like a psychopath, but it's like he's doing like very terrible things. He's murdering a whole bunch of people, but at the same time, it's like he feels no emotion. So there's like almost like a sad, but like no emotion behind the eyes kind of a thing.
Yeah. And with you mentioning that he's killing people too, the way he goes about it is really interesting. And I don't think I've seen anything quite like it before.
No.
Where he uses this gas canister sort of thing, and it has
an oxygen tank.
Yeah, it has some sort of rifle piece attached to it, and it'll shoot out this metal rod that like can hit you from a distance, then retract really quick. So it's almost as if you were being shot from point blank,
but from a distance.
And with a gas or oxygen tank, so there's no sound for it really. It's just a quick, and then you're
dead.
Done. Yeah. But back to the acting as well. Tommy Lee Jones, love this guy and about everything I've seen him in. his voice is always just so soothing. I don't know how to explain it. Just is. I have a thing for like
he has a good
voices.
voice. Yeah.
Josh Brolin as well is also incredible. I like he has like this dialect and accent to him, and he's also really resourceful as a character in this.
Oh, extremely, yeah.
Which will come back up later in the deep thought for this. And Carson is like his character's intelligence is his main strength, which will also come back in deep thought when we get to that. But I think each character has like their own distinct personalities that do pretty well. Moving off of that into some of like the way it's shot, there are a lot of medium and wide establishing shots because everything was filmed on location in Texas and New Mexico. And so being able to see all of those landscapes kind of draws your attention to how grand everything is and then how small the characters are. But then you also get these close-up shots of finer details that become important as the movie goes on.
Right.
So there's a nice balance between those, and the color grading of it as well is also rather like warm. It's not orange, but it's not yellow. Somewhere in the middle.
It's not like the stereotype, like how Mexico's depicted in Hollywood like kind of thing. It's not that Mexico orange, filter, but like the Mexico filter, yeah.
But it does have a warm color grading, and that kind of
so it takes place in like Texas and
it symbolizes the heat that's kind of going on. They're kind of similar to how like colder color gradings that are more blue depict cold settings.
Blue, green, yeah.
Unfortunately, those are the main things I wrote down for the pros. So, is there anything you liked about this movie?
So, yeah, kind of getting into the soundtrack, or rather a lack thereof, because like this movie does not have like any dedicated soundtrack or score or anything, or any like, it just kind of relies on like the environment to kind of like set the tone. Like with last week with Together, like sound design was a huge part of it, because like when like the jump scares came up, like it would just be like a sudden strings going off, whatever. But like with No Country for Old Men, it's just like it's very grounded, and it's just like you're there kind of. It heavily relies on like the ambience to just kind of like for the ears,
And that's something too that I noticed was the lack of it. There's almost no real score to anything. And for me, looking at it, it was less so about the environment giving the sound. Not that it doesn't, it definitely does, but more so just letting you kind of watch things happen.
You get to like experience almost like you're there, but it's like
but you're watching it from like a perspective of
someone who
it just
might
happens.
Be there. Yeah,
there's nothing you can do. It just happens. Especially whenever you're watching Anton go around, and each person he kills, there's no sound to it. Just happens, and you're just stuck there to watch it. And I think that's pretty realistic in that depiction, where like that moment is just kind of what absorbs you in there, that you can't have any reaction to it. I mean, like, you obviously react to it, like somebody died in front of you, but
it's just like so sudden, you almost have like no time
like
to
you're in
react
shock
to it.
almost.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Like you're in shock almost. And I think the lack of a soundtrack kind of emphasizes that feeling. But that is a good point. I did notice that too.
Yeah.
Anything else? Did you write more notes than I did this time?
Almost.
I write a lot of notes. This has been known, but
it's sometimes like you have a lot to say, but like at the same time you have like no notes either.
Yeah, I don't know. I partially store it in my head. I partially write it down. Just have a weird mix. Okay. As for things that I didn't care for,
aka the Luke Brewer doesn't like movies section.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. One day I'll like a movie. I have one that we're definitely going to talk about eventually that is a 5 out of 5. I think 2 of them this year. So
yeah,
I have indeed liked a movie, I promise.
I think I know one of them, but
yeah, I think there's no consequences in this movie. And that's a bold statement to make, but it's mainly revolving around Moss. His character multiple times gets in altercations with Anton and gets shot or injured in a lot of them. But I never feel like he's actually injured by anything. And this comes up later in the deep thought too. But it just feels weird. In the main scene where it's at the hotel, not the motel, the hotel, they're separate. he's running like through the street and stuff, gets shot multiple times, and it's just running perfectly fine for blocks on end. There's no way. Like it's possible, but
where you just you just have a med pack and you just go and you're healed.
Yeah, like it's possible that you could pull that off.
Yeah,
it's just I don't buy it. I don't buy it, and it's just
somehow made it to the hospital.
Yeah, it
Mexico.
To me, it borderline feels like plot armor because he's the main character, or one of the main characters, I guess. Him and Anton are both technically the main character.
Yeah,
but like he's the main character, he can just get away with it because he is the main character. So you can kind of buff him up however you want. I didn't vibe with that. Maybe that's me just complaining a little bit. But what isn't complaining is the entirety of the third act. This movie's third act lost me. And
I'm interested.
I don't know why. And I kind of have to spoil it to make this point, but Moss's character dies off screen.
Okay, yeah, no, I can get on board.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
I hate it when things happen off screen that are important, especially when there's something as big as killing a character off or having them die in some way.
Big of a character that Moss is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this is our main character, and then you mean to tell me you killed him off screen? No. Like, show me that. Give me the reason to care. And then I didn't. And then because he dies, the rest of the movie ends up devolving itself into no longer a struggle over the MacGuffin of the money case, but rather just characters having metaphorical conversations one-on-one in different places, whether it's the sheriff or Moss's wife, or are they married? I don't know. Moss's partner. We'll say that. Moss's partner.
I think they're married.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah. Moss's wife, or Anton and Moss's wife, and more others, but those are the two that are just on my head, on the top of my head immediately. But like those metaphorical conversations are not inherently bad to have. It's just I need substance to care about them. I don't want the movie preaching to me almost about it, where it's like, this scene has deeper meaning because it has deeper meaning and you're stuck here to listen to it. I would rather have it embedded in the story to where you're like, man, this scene is great because of what it symbolizes. These scenes to me don't symbolize anything because all of the reason to build up to those scenes is gone. And I just really don't like that.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Kind of rewinding back to Moss's death. I hate that he died off screen. Okay, I think that was like whatever. That's actually crazy.
Preach.
That's actually crazy. But I do think like it kind of brings up the point like he's been through like a lot throughout the movie. He's been like, he got shot multiple times and whatnot. I think like in a way he kind of had what was coming to him, but like again, I do wish it happened on screen, but at the same time it's just like it kind of shows you like that's the coming for you, It's like,
yeah, and maybe
even
with
when you
like,
least expect it.
And maybe with how you said like he knew he had it coming to him, maybe that's what the point of that scene was to show that.
That's kind of what I think, yeah.
And maybe that's on me for just not noticing it.
Yeah, Lord, come on.
My bad, gang. But I don't know. I think they could have went about it better if that's what they wanted to show.
Yeah.
I think...
I agree they could have handled it better, but I think that's kind of like the message.
Yeah, because if that's the point, it feels like they were trying to do something similar to the shock value of the lack of a soundtrack gives, where you have the shock value of, oh, he just died out of nowhere. But I need to see that for me to care and to have the story overall be sound and then make the third act have a reason to be the way that it is.
That's fair, yeah. And also, like, you're going on with the metaphorical dialogue. I kind of agree. Like, after Moss dies, it's like it just kind of devolves into just like characters kind of having moments of talking, and it's just like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. It's good. It's cool stuff, but like at the same time, it's
don't care. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a reason to care about the third act just because
the movie just should have ended like shortly after Moss's death.
I think it's fine that it went longer. If they showed the death on screen and then it went longer, I think I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, I
still would have had slight problem because there's little buildup between those scenes. They both just kind of intercut with each other. But it's not awful if they show it. Believe it or not, I'm already down to the deep thought. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
You're already here. I've only been recording for 15 minutes, dude.
Step on business, gang.
Yes, there was one thing. So before I watched this movie, like I saw like a bunch of Instagram posts about this movie too. You know, social media is kind of blasting this movie all over the place. From what I've seen, I just get like the movie side of Instagram. But one of the things I saw was Anton's like the most accurately depicted psychopath in like film.
Interesting.
I kind of I researched this very briefly before coming here, so take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, apparently like there was a list made of like the most accurately depicted psychopaths in film, and like Anton was like number one. I think like the killer from Psycho was very close behind, and there's a few others. And
yeah, just an interesting fact.
Interesting fact of the day.
Well, it's that time. 17 minutes in, deep thought. This is kind of a reach off of the initial moment I found it, but then the more that I looked at it, the more it made sense. There's a scene where Moss ends up in the hospital and Carson finds him there, and they both are talking to each other, and they reveal to each other that they both served in Vietnam. And this kind of flagged something for me about soldiers kind of coming back to the States post-war and trying to reintegrate. And tying back with the things I said earlier that come back, Moss is well-trained and upkeeps his skills, which happened for most veterans when they came back. Like, they still remembered the skills they had. They'd upkeep it, or even if they didn't, they still could do it if they were asked to. Carson's intelligence, he's more so fully integrated back into the life. If we're comparing Moss and Carson, where Carson is now this business type guy, he's kind of fully integrating into society once again, whereas Moss is still just kind of,
he's still like
hunting and fighting almost. But then what really tied this together to me is that Anton is almost like the unhinged side of it, where some soldiers will come back and just from the trauma that's happened over there, like they kind of break a little bit.
They're not the same.
Yeah, they break a little bit. And so that's how I kind of viewed Anton. So my question is, like, what do you think about there being like an undertone of soldiers from Vietnam readjusting to life post-war?
I definitely think so the film takes place in 1980, which is, you know, not long at all after Vietnam, so it makes sense that that's the war. But I think with like Moss, obviously, like he's still getting himself involved in like you know, taking a briefcase full of money and, you know, going all the way across the state of Texas to try to flee, you know, a deranged psychopath. And it's like he's still getting himself like involved in like the whole hunting aspect of like the war. I can agree with that. Yeah, with Ed, like he's fully integrated back. He's still like a cop, which is like, I wouldn't call it a military position, but it's still like kind of like a position of authority in a way. So like he still kind of like carries that back with him.
I don't know. It's just something that stuck out. That was interesting. I almost feel like I'm doing the movie a disservice by not having more to say, but I don't know. I think it was just as overhyped as Together was. I feel like people kept talking so highly of this movie in saying so many great things, and then I watched it and I was like, I see where you're coming from, but I don't fully agree with you, mainly because of the third act. But yeah, if you don't have anything else to talk about, I think I'm ready for ratings. I know it's a quick episode, but we're meeting that under 30-minute runtime like I had hoped. So
yeah, I think I'm ready for ratings. So
your movie, you go first.
Okay, cool. So I'd give this movie a 4 out of 5. I liked I keep tripping over my words. I liked Anton a lot. I think like he definitely carried the movie. His performance was great, and I also liked Moss's performance too. I thought he was really good. The only thing I really disliked was like, as we talked about to length, Moss's death being off screen. Like, why didn't they show that? I get why they didn't, but like at the same time, why didn't they show it? But otherwise, yeah, great movie overall.
All right. I don't know if I'd go as far to say it's great. Maybe that's going to get me flamed afterwards. But I do think the movie is good. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I agree with the characters carrying pretty hard, especially Anton, and Bardem's performance for that. And the cinematography as well is a good aid. And
Definitely.
Same with the sound design of it, or the lack thereof, I guess, kind of adding to that. But man, that third act, I just can't get behind it.
No.
And every time something happens story-wise, I just always bring it up. Story is the most important thing to me. If you can't capture me with your story, you're going to lose points for me. And I think that's where everything stems from here.
It's just this movie kind of makes that point apparent.
Yeah. So, I don't know. A little disappointed with that. We're going 2 for 2 for disappointing movies, which kind of sucks. But next week is our first guest week. So, it's possible they'll choose a movie that I like. We'll see. You don't think so?
No, we'll see.
We'll see. Who knows? Who knows what I'll cook up? But yeah. But if you have any movie suggestions for us, please feel free to leave a comment below. We can check them out. Maybe see if we can squeeze them in our schedule. It's not that busy. I promise we can probably get it in. But yeah, until next week for our first guest episode of the year, I'm Luke.
I'm Griffin.
And we will be back next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.